Hey, what's up everybody? It is not Thursday on Genderqueer Chat. I'm really sorry. I've completely dropped the ball on making videos recently. And especially because it's been viewer topics, it's actually been really important to me, and every week, I mean it's really important to me anyway, and every week I think about what I'm going to say, and I have, everything in my head, and then I end up not making a video. So I just want to really apologize for that, because that's really not good on my part. Yeah, so I'm going to try to do better. Clearly I haven't been, I think I said that last time too, and that was a few weeks ago. But anyway, I'm sorry. So I've missed a few topics, but this week's topic is about names, and if we've thought about, changing our name to something sort of more gender appropriate. And the answer to that is yes, I have. I've been sort of reluctant in the past to talk too much about my name, like put my name on the internet and stuff. But more recently, like when I first started this channel, I was really kind of iffy about it. But more recently, I've sort of put myself out there for other reasons as well. So, if someone's gonna stalk me, they're gonna stalk me, I guess. But my real name is Kier, which is it's actually a men's name. That was not the name I was born with, but it was the name that everyone always called me. Recently, like a couple years ago or a year ago, I don't know when it was. I mean, I always sort of knew that I wanted to change my name legally. I can remember being 9 years old, and I was in my mom. We were getting to know like my stepdad's family, because my mom had just started dating my stepdad, and we were up at my aunt's place, and she kept calling me by my birth name, which was something that I did not, they didn't really call me that at home. Like my family and everyone just didn't really call me that, and I remember getting so grumpy with it and thinking, I hate that name, it's so stupid, blah blah blah. And I was 9 years old, and so because of that side of the family started calling me that name, whereas the rest of my family called me Kier. One of my grandparents, a couple of my grandparents will call me by the other name, but mostly people just have always called me Kier. So when I changed my name, it was not a big deal, only for a few people, kind of, for instance, my one cousin who's actually here not that long ago, she would call me by my birth name, and her theory about why it was so hard for her to switch was that she had a hard time saying Kier, because with her accent, they kind of gloss over R's. She's from the Caribbean, so so instead of calling me Kier, she would call me Ke, which is better than the birth name, but it's sort of like the birth name she could say easier in her accent, whereas Kia doesn't, kind of, she feels like she's not really saying my name. So she had a little bit of a struggle with it, but she caught on. Mostly I was just too shy when I was younger to say, ugh, don't call me that. And the funny thing that I realized at some point was people would totally call me Kier to my face, and they would never, when talking to me, would never refer to me as anything but Kier. But then when talking to other people, they would sort of say the other name, which I always, I found kind of strange, because especially for a long time I didn't realize that that's what they did. And then, so the kind of the new people, where it's if I was, friends with a new person, or ended up having a new person in my life, they would call me that other name just because that's what, if they had been introduced to me through somebody else. which I find kind of strange. Like for instance, if I had a friend named like Jess, right? And I called her Jess to her face, and she was always Jess. I wouldn't introduce, or I wouldn't sort of talk about her as, oh, my friend Jessica, because I don't really know her as Jessica, and I don't interact with her as Jessica. So I find it odd that people would do that. But I guess that's in part because Kier is a name that is like not overly well known, although it's an Irish name. So like it is a real name. I have met other people, like males mostly, with the name Kier. But they have a issue too, like most people, like males with the name Kier, they'll get called Kieran or like Christian or like some other random name. I got Starbucks today, and on my coffee cup, they always ask like, what's your name, and I say Kier, and my coffee cup said Kiana. So that was kind of weird, but that kind of stuff always happens. It really irritates me because I'll say Kier and people will say, oh, Kira, or like Kurt, like I don't know, just all kinds of like Kiana, like that's not even close, I don't think. I guess like the key, but anyway, it really irritates me. People try to kind of feminize my name, but I think that's because it's just not really a well-known name. Like if I were to say like, oh, my name's Devin, they wouldn't try to feminize that any more than it is. Like, so I think people just sort of mishear me when it comes to my name, and then just try to make up some feminine version of it, which really irritates me. But it's way better than getting called my birth name, which only happens now with two of my grandparents. Everyone else has caught on and is totally fine with it. And I'm really, when I think about it, I get kind of annoyed with myself that I waited so long to do it, because it's always been a big issue for me. It's always been something that's made me feel really uncomfortable and really self-conscious and just not good. And so when people, like, if I had just not been so shy when I was a teenager, I could have done it. Like, I mean, I sort of started socially transitioning the name socially, in my early 20s, and just a couple years ago, like, I got, like, the legal name change and everything, but I don't know why I didn't do it, like, if not legally, socially sooner. It was just out of being shy. And I think about the fact that I've been so shy about it, and it makes me mad. So if you are not doing it because you're shy or you're worried about what somebody's going to think, it's your name. You have the right to be called whatever you want to be called, and if there's, if people are using a name that makes you feel really uncomfortable and really, shitty about yourself every time you see that name printed or you hear that name called and they're referring to you, like, I would say just change it. It feels a lot better to, sort of not have that constant thing that's just making you feel like crap about yourself. So yeah, that is my take on names. And I think I might try to make another couple of videos to make up for some of the ones that I missed. So yes, I will see you guys later. Bye.